content,
Of
all that
course,
stuff. So
of
what's
course.
up?
Man, so I can't find a winning ad. Let me show you what I turned off.
Right.
Uh, I launched like an ad set that worked for me in the US and Canada today. So
hmm
let's see how that goes. But I'll show you the one that I just turned off.
So you've been running your ads for how long? And how much money have you spent?
O overall, or just a recent campaign?
I would say recently, like in the past couple of months.
The last couple of months, I would say I've spent maybe 2, 3 grand.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay, so I just this is what my ads look like. Let me zoom in for you.
Yeah.
This was sort of a winner, but like I'm just not getting any sales calls, man.
hmm Yeah,
And I
I'm trying to figure out how I zoom in here. But keep talking.
Bro, so essentially for this one, I was getting like the last few times I ran ads, I was getting a lot of shitty leads. So for this one, I added more friction. But by adding that more friction, I'm just barely getting any leads. So I'm not able to practice like my sales skills. I'm not able to try to objection handle or any of that. Like I've
Right.
only been on 4 calls with this. So I'm thinking of just removing that friction and just trying to get on as many calls as possible.
Right. I mean, it depends on what your goal is with
Mhm.
this. Like, what I hear a mistake that people make when they're running their ads is they get a great cost per lead or a great cost per book calls, but
Mm-hmm.
they're not qualified.
Mm-hmm.
And so what'll happen is they'll improve their funnel or they'll add more friction, like you said, to only let through qualified leads. And what that will
Mm-hmm.
do is that will raise the cost per lead, that will raise the cost per book calls. And people will say something is wrong with my ads, but what actually is happening is you are exposing what the real cost is for a qualified lead that was there the entire time.
Mm. That makes a lot of sense. I'm just contemplating whether because the friction question that I added was just like how much ad spend do you have? It's probably similar to yours where it's like they need to be able to afford the ad spend, right? So it's
hmm
probably the same with you. And because of that, I'm not really getting any leads. So I'm just wondering if I should remove that, get like less qualified leads that maybe I can objection handle into spending the ad spend.
hmm
So I'm kind of
Sure. Yeah, the first thing is what's your objective for right now? Is it to get more sales calls so you can practice? Or is
hmm
it to get more qualified leads through your funnel to hop on your phone call so you can make more sales?
make more sales for sure. But I think I can only make more sales if my sales skills get better.
hmm So then you got to decide. For me, what I did is I didn't want to spend what was for me $50 a phone call to practice my sales skills. So I
hmm
did mock calls.
Mm. Okay, that's true. So you're just doing a shitload of mock calls?
Yeah.
Was
And
that
so go ahead.
Sorry, was that trying like isn't it hard for like people to kind of replicate your prospects?
Yeah, of course. But the thing is before I joined this program, I'd already done, you know, 40 or 50 calls with my clients.
Hmm.
So the thing is when I've run enough ads and I've had enough conversations with my ideal client, the ones
Mm-hmm.
that spend money and the ones that show up on the phone call ready to have a real conversation, that I know what triggers them in a negative way and I know what excites them. And so when I would have messaging at inside of my Facebook ads, on the qualification form, and in the pre-call ad sets, whenever I mentioned we'll run Facebook ads for you, it would always run them off.
Hmm.
And so I don't say anything like that in my form. If I want to know if they have interest in doing anything with ads, I just say, what's your experience with Meta ads? And because I've spoken to so many of my clients, I know what size business spends how much in ads. I have it in my mind where if they have like, 10 clients, a 10 patient census, they've probably spent $3,000 over the course of a couple of months to try these ads. If they're
Mm-hmm.
doing $1 million in revenue, I know that they're spending something like, under $10,000 in ads. So I don't really need to ask these questions. You can frame it more than context of what have they tried in the past.
Okay. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Do you think that question's crucial though to ask?
What have they spent in the past, or what are they willing to spend on ads?
Yeah, both. Or what have they tried in the past?
hmm Yeah, of course you want to know what they've tried in the past. The thing is like Alex Ramosi says, the more questions you have on qualification on the form, the more qualified prospects you're going to have that end up on your sales call,
Mm-hmm.
but less of them are going to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to find that balance. And he says that somewhere like 4, 5, or 6 questions.
Okay. Okay, got it. Do you want me to show you my instant form? Like the new one I'm using?
hmm Well, I don't think the instant form matters so much. It's like, what are your funnel metrics at each stage of the funnel?
Okay, so you're asking about how many leads I'm getting, how many of them are showing up, how many of them are converting?
Right.
Sure, so I'll tell you exactly
hmm
what.
Because I don't
So,
know, I don't know anything about your niche. So the way that you can determine if this is good or not is by having spent enough money on your ads to figure out what the average is.
mhm.
What's considered standard performance for your offer, and then you look for deviations in that with the new ads you launch.
Okay, got it. So, okay, that makes sense. So for this, I got 14, 15, 16, 19 leads. From those 19 leads, I got uh I believe 5 book calls.
Mm-hmm.
And then from those book calls, one, two, three, four. Yeah, four people showed up, which is a pretty good show up rate. Showed up and I closed one.
Okay, and that's $30 per lead.
Yeah, $30.
Okay,
Let me
and
let
you
me
said it was, I guess we'll round it and we'll say 20.
20 leads, sure. We can say 20 leads.
So then the cost to acquire a customer for you is $600 in this example.
I believe so. How did you get the 600? 20 divided by
Yeah, one closed
mm-hmm.
out of the 20 leads.
Yes.
$20 per lead at $30, or excuse me, 20 leads at $30 per lead is $600.
Okay, exactly. Got it. Okay. And then yeah, cost to acquire customer is $600. Yeah.
hmm
And he paid me a $3,000 setup fee.
Okay. So that's like 5x return.
Yeah, that is 5x return. That's true.
That's pretty good. And you charge them on the back end, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
then you have, I don't know what your fulfillment is, but you recoup what you spent on the ads. You have enough money with that down payment to run it again to acquire the next customer. So
Mm-hmm.
then you could scale this.
I actually stopped running this today. You think I should turn it back on?
Yeah, I mean, it's positive, right? You're making
Mhm.
money.
Yeah, 100%. It's just that it's taking so long to get those leads.
Right.
Like,
So
do
how
you think
long did
I'm
you
just
run this
fatigued?
for? How long did you run this for to get those 20 leads and to close that one guy?
Can you do you know where to go to see when I first started this campaign?
Sure. Um, well, this, I'm not entirely sure, but we can see this as the last significant edit, March 23rd. So that's
17 days
two
ago.
weeks ago, a little more than 2 weeks.
Yes, 17 days.
hmm And so if you were to say, I like how this performs, and I know, and I've run this long enough where I can estimate, I can assume with a reasonable measure of confidence that it's going to be $600 per acquired customer, then what you would
Mm-hmm.
do is instead of spending whatever you spent on these ads over the course of 2.5 weeks, you would just
Mm-hmm.
spend that in one day. And so
Okay.
then you get one closed customer per day.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. So you think that I should, if I'm okay with, my only thing is like, how do I know if it's got an ad fatigue or not?
Sure. So you would look at the average performance. Okay. So when I look at my ads, I know that for $100, I'll get like 1,100 impressions.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get whatever number of clicks. I'll get whatever number of clicks that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll get a click through rate of around 2.5 to 3%, and however many of those turn into calls.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I look at my ads, I'm not really worried about ad fatigue, but what I do is I set a marker where I say, I'm okay with ads that get 2% click through rate. So the moment that they drop below that 2%, because that's kind of what I'm comfortable with to spend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because as soon as it goes to like a 1% click through rate, then that basically means I'm doubling the cost to acquire a lead, right? Like the math could be wrong, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then what I do when it drops below whatever that benchmark is of 2%, I will duplicate that same ad in a different ad set because it could just be it's exhausted the group of people that it's showing to in the ad set.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it still gets the same performance below that 2%, then I know like, okay, the market's seen enough of this ad. Let me just make a variation of it.
Okay.
Right.
Okay,
So
got
what
it.
people like Sam Ovens will say is that you shouldn't be so worried about ad fatigue. Ad fatigue takes weeks and weeks to get
Mm-hmm.
there. Right? But what the issue is that it's the ad set. So the way that the ad sets work is it'll show it to like imagine my hands is like all of the people on the internet on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook and Instagram, and they each have their own interests, right? It's like the biomass, right?
Got it.
Is what Neil Stevenson would say. And so whenever you create an ad set, it sends it to a pocket. Like this pocket over here is people
Mm-hmm.
who are lawyers, or like a very is like lawyers in Chicago would be an example, right? Just this section over here. And what'll happen is your ad set will be dropped inside of it and it'll hit that sweet pocket of family lawyers that you're looking for. It gets some responsiveness and then it expands it until it kind of expands past family lawyers in Chicago and starts
Mm-hmm.
to show like dog lawyers in Chicago. And then
Got
it
it.
will stop performing. And so if you just do the same ad in the new ad set, it'll drop it. It'll be another drop in the bucket of potential
Mm-hmm.
lawyers that could see it. And maybe it will be a better group or maybe it will be a worse group. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, bro. Thanks for explaining that. So you'll just duplicate the ad set. Sorry, you'll duplicate the ad and put it in a new ad set, or do you duplicate the whole ad set?
You you create a new ad set with the same ad.
Okay, got it, got it, got it. That makes sense.
So the process is that you're running these campaigns and it looks like, or maybe these are different ads in a campaign, whatever. You just launch new campaigns until you find like what the average cost is to acquire a customer or like a
Mm-hmm.
cost per lead or like a click through rate, right?
Mm-hmm.
You do that enough to the point where you can say my hypothesis is that the next campaign I launch is going to get a cost per book call between 30 and $60. And because you have enough data, it'll hit that, right?
Hmm.
And then it proves that hypothesis correct. You're getting your booked calls at that dollar amount that you like, or the
Hmm.
cost per acquire customer at a dollar amount that makes sense with your unit economics.
Hmm.
And then what you do is you do like horizontal scaling and vertical scaling. So what you'll do is you'll take that same ad, that right, you'll take that same ad and you'll just duplicate it 20 times in 20 different ad sets. So it's the same message that we've proved hits with the market, and we're dropping it in a lot of different places to see if it performs better or at least the same.
Okay,
You
okay.
with me
And you
so
think,
far?
yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So every time you create a new ad set with the same ad, you're rolling the dice. But again, it could work out. It could go in a shittier pocket, or it could go in a much better pocket, or it could stay the same.
Mhm. That's right. And then the last thing I'll say is like the vertical scaling is just spending more money, right? Like you
Mhm.
want to spend 5% more money on the ad every 3 days or something like that, or 10% every 5 days. And the mistake that people make is because they don't know what they want to spend to acquire a customer or get a
Mhm.
phone call, they just double down, right? They say, um, oh, I've ran it for 1 week. Let me back up. Like for the example, the ideal situation is we'll say $50 per booked call, right? We spend $50 with Facebook ads and we get one book call. Those are great
Okay.
numbers. But if you don't know that, what you'll do is you'll say, I've spent $100. I'm getting $100 per book call, but maybe it just hasn't converted yet, right? Maybe it hasn't tipped. So I'm going to spend 100 more dollars. Okay, so
Mm.
200 is actually I don't know if this is good, but I want more calls and like maybe it'll turn around and I'll get like 10 leads in one day. I'm going to spend even more money. So
Mhm.
you want to spend like tiny ad budgets to like get a consistent number of impressions and stuff like that. So I can't look at your ad, like where I'm going with all of this is that I can't look at your ad and tell you if it's a good ad or not,
Got
right?
it.
Only based on all of the information that you've collected.
Okay, okay. That makes a lot of sense, man. That makes a lot of sense. So I should try to find out my historically my cost per booking,
Or yeah, like cost per
cost
book
per
call is a
show,
great metric. That's what I like.
cost per show, and
Mm-hmm.
then cost per acquired customer.
Because like if you can, based on that example, if you can, spend a little bit more the next time you run that campaign or whatever, and if you
Hmm.
can get five, however many, like we'll say five clients at around that same price of $600 per client, or
Hmm.
$600 CAC,
Hmm.
and they're willing to pay that, what was it, 8 grand, 3 grand,
Three grand.
right? That's great. So then if you can do that predictably, then you just spend the amount of money that you spent over 3 weeks in 3 days, and
Mm-hmm.
then you unlock all the phone calls you want at a reasonable price.
Oh, okay, okay. That makes a lot of sense, man.
Right. So the heavy hitters in this space, what they'll do is they'll spend like $100 here, $100 here, $100 here, $100 here, and it's wasted, wasted, wasted. Nothing is working. And then they find one ad set that works really well, and they're like, I'm gonna spend $1,000 a day now. I'm gonna spend $10,000 a day on that one ad.
Okay, and that's when they'll unlock everything they want because they know it works consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay, got it. And thank you, man. That actually makes a lot of sense. I'm going to go back and watch this recording as well because a lot of this is new information. But I also want to ask, so in terms of like making the ad, you said you're making like text ads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
similar to what you got.
similar like this type of stuff.
Yeah, where it is like um ABC, um, avatar, bold promise, call to action.
Okay, let me show you. Honestly, what AI do you use for your ads? Do you use Manus, Manus?
I haven't tried Manus yet, but I like AI Studio. I like using Gemini and Image Gen.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Manus, my friend put me on. It's really good.
Oh, I
But
have a subscription, yeah.
sorry?
I said, yeah, I use Manus. I've just
Oh, you
never
use
tried it for ads before.
Okay, okay, okay. That's pretty cool. Okay, all good, bro. That makes a lot of sense, man. I'm gonna get my numbers in place and see.
So like if you go to your campaigns here and the day is the last 30 days, like go to maximum. Go to the date range that it shows. So you can see it right here like how it breaks down. And
Hmm.
so you know which one of these campaigns was like a serious one and which one was you just kind of like just getting started, right? You know
Hmm.
which of these campaigns actually had high quality leads and which ones didn't.
For sure. I can see that. Like this one. Okay, bro, thank you. I'm gonna go back and are you recording this?
I think so.
Okay, because I don't know why my Fathom just kind of bounced off. But I'm gonna go back and rewatch everything you said, man. It's really useful. So it's all a numbers game, less than an creative game, like an ad creative game.
Right, because yeah, because you don't know what people will respond to.
Mm-hmm.
And I have different prices to acquire a customer than you do
Okay.
versus the guy who's in fitness.
No, 100%. That makes sense. You're just saying I need to understand what those numbers look like for me.
Right. Yeah. And when you start to work with someone who's actually really good at this, they'll say, we need $3,000 to spend before we can even give you an estimate of how much it costs to acquire a customer. Because that's how many ads we need to launch in order to just get the data.
Okay, so that's the most crucial part. Like just, the people are willing to spend like 2, 3 thousand just to get an understanding of what their CAC is.
Yeah, what's great about paid advertising is you're paying for data,
Hmm.
right? Where traditionally you'd have to go out and spend, 30 days walking down the street to ask people what they would buy and what they'd be willing for to do. Or you'd have
Hmm.
to spend $3,000 on a billboard and you can't really determine if somebody came from the billboard, but maybe the billboard makes sense because these people said they're from North Chicago where the billboard is, but maybe they just lived there already. You can say like if I spend, the way I look at it is like if I spend $600 this week, I'm gonna get 10 phone calls and I'm gonna get, three of them that are qualified. And so I'm spending like $600 for three high intent phone calls where I can dig deep into the avatar and understand what they want. And then I get the
Hmm.
data, the metrics to reflect that.
Got it. Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Do you want me to show you like my funnel? Maybe you can take something from it.
Sure. I mean, what's your funnel tracking spreadsheet look like? Where are you tracking the numbers at each stage?
I'm not actually doing that, not gonna lie.
Right. So you need to, if you want to run paid advertisement, you need to step it up. Like I'll show you here,
Okay. Let me.
not sales KPIs. And so, I'll create this dashboard. And so, like, here's the date. Here's kind of the notes on what the campaign is addressing. Here's what I spent during the day.
Are you are
Here's,
you sharing your screen?
are you seeing me share my screen?
No.
Okay, let's try that again.
No worries.
Can you see the spreadsheet?
Yes.
Right. So this is like the way that you do it is shit, or the way that I do it, it's cost per lead. And so this is basically the ads.
Mm-hmm.
This is like your web pages, and then this is sales. Okay.
Oh.
And so, let's go to a good area. And so every day you're like, if I spend $50, I get 1,000 people to see my ad. 50 of them click on it, which I say I want more than 1% of the people will click on it. So that's good. $1 cost per click, 10 leads. 20% of those leads actually book a phone call. 40% of those actually show up. So $14 per book call, right?
Okay.
And one deal closed. So, like, the way that you actually nail this marketing is you go and you're like, okay, these numbers look good. I'm not going to change anything. But wait, I
Mm,
notice now that the cost per click, or the Facebook click the lead ratio, I noticed
mm-hmm.
that a smaller number of people who land on my page are choosing to become leads,
Mm,
right? People are clicking the ad. People, I like the cost. I'm getting leads. But
mm.
look, 14.4, where some days it's 25. So this is telling me that my landing page needs to be improved.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes a
Okay.
lot
And
of
then
sense.
and then if this was below 5%, this is lead to book call ratio. Wait, lead to book call ratio. This
Mhm.
means that people are starting to fill out the form, but they're not finishing, right? Cost per click
Yes.
means it's a shitty ad. Click through
Yeah.
rate means there's not a strong call to action. Low cost per impressions, below like $70, or excuse me, above $70 for 1,000 impressions, means that it's a shitty ad,
Oh,
right?
this helps you diagnose the issue.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. How did you create that spreadsheet?
it's just a template.
Is this a
I can
template?
I can send it to you. Yeah.
Yes, please, man. And then is this is linked to your Facebook ads? Like it updates automatically?
No, I wish.
I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Right. I tried it before, but then like it would mess up and stuff like that. So,
So you manually just go in and put shit in.
Mhm. So I'm forced to check the performance every day and kind of like diagnose the health of my funnel.
Okay, that's pretty dope. I'm gonna get into that for sure. Um, I want to offer you some value as well, man. Tell me what you want to see. Tell me how I can help.
Sure. I don't know. Can we spend another day and we do the same, but for we flip it and you tell me how to do Google high intent
Yeah,
search like that?
100% of course. But the thing is, I have a freelancer that runs my Google Ads, but I have enough approximate knowledge to help you understand a few basics for sure. Like
Right.
something you things that you would need to know when hiring someone, and
Yeah.
just metrics that you want to see as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not elite. I would say I'm at like a C plus, but
Yeah.
it's it's enough for I can give you a crash course on what I know for sure.
Cool, man.
Sounds
Yeah.
good?
Yeah. I'm kind of beat today, so we don't have to be like so on it.
Yeah, of course, bro. Of course. It's all good. Message me whenever you're free, bro. I'll make time and I'll figure out what to tell you. Are you looking to do it yourself or hire someone?
Ideally, I just do it myself for a couple of days, just
Mm-hmm.
to understand everything like that, and then go from there. But what we'll do is let me share this link with you.
No worries.
But yeah, like all marketing is data. Were you the one telling me you had a data science background? It was somebody else.
No, I wish, bro. I wish.
Yeah, so check that out. Make a copy of that.
Got it. Okay. Okay, that's yours. Make a copy. Okay. And then just fill this in accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And,
sounds
and
good.
what you'll see is there'll be like a trend, right? And then over time, where somebody will say, "I'll only accept a 1% click through rate," you'll say, "I'll only accept a 2% click through rate," because you're setting higher standards or you're in a sweet niche,
Okay, that makes sense. But it's about figuring out what's working in my niche first, or like what the average is for myself.
right?
Okay. Do you recommend I go through data from like a year ago or just ads that I've run in the last two months?
I just stick with what's recent because I imagine a year ago your offer was different, your marketing angle was different.
Mm-hmm. I was actually running the same offer, man, not gonna lie. I can't think of
Yeah.
a better offer
You've
than
been
what I
running the same offer for a year, and
two.
you only have 3 clients at a time.
Yeah.
You're underselling yourself.
You think so?
Yeah, you could definitely do more.
Why do you say that?
Because if you're taking it seriously, you know exactly who your avatar is, what their appetite for risk is, what they're willing to spend, what the
Mm-hmm.
cost of fulfillment is. You said you had a good person, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the next 2 campaigns you launch, you can get uh, a cost to acquire a customer for $600, then you're ready to scale this.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Definitely, man. I need to figure out my numbers properly first. And I'll turn that campaign back on, bro. I realized $600 and I made 3 grand back. That's a pretty good CAC.
Yeah, people would love that.
For sure, for sure. So you wanna schedule another call for Google? Like let me know whenever you're free and then you shoot me a message, bro.
All right, boss. I hope that
Sounds
was
good?
helpful.
Of
Yeah.
course, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, man. Just when you hit it big, you know,
Mhm.
invite me on the yacht.
Of course, my man. Likewise, brother. Likewise.
All right. I'll talk to
All
you
right.
later.
Take
Bye.
care, bro. Peace. Bye-bye.